everyone, and welcome to Curly and Yarny. Here it's Milena, and today we will be weaving samples. So there are a few reasons why we would want to make a sample when weaving. Because samples, they can tell you a lot about the fiber that you want to use to make a project. It can tell you how much it's going to shrink. It can tell you if you want to test out the colors, sometimes if the colors will be a nice blend together. It can also help you determine what heddle would be the best for a particular project. It can tell you a lot of things, and this is important sometimes to know before starting a project, because it can avoid deceptions and it can avoid mistakes, especially when weaving with expensive yarn. Sometimes it's best to try them out a little bit beforehand and to make sure that we don't jump into a project that at the end will not be exactly like we planned, and that we might be very disappointed with. So sampling is important, but personally I don't love making samples. I'm maybe impatient, or I'm too anxious to start my projects, that I always want to jump right into the project, which is sometimes fine, but I know that making some tests beforehand is very useful. So this is why I wanted to share with you what I do now to test the yarn before I use it. So what I do is making a sample of all the yarn I have. So maybe this could be considered more as a test more than a sample, but anyway, I really use it as a learning tool, as a learning resources. And what I like about the method that I use is that it goes pretty quickly and I don't use that much yarn in it. So this is the other samples that I've made before. So on this sample, I've tried many different fibers. I've tried many colors as well, and there's so much that I learned from it. Just for example, I had some merino wool that I use in the warp, and this particular wool did not react well to wet finishing. So if you can see the fringes, they are super fluffy, and I really don't like the look of them. So I know that this yarn is not that suitable for warp. If I use it as a warp, I would definitely twist my fringes to make sure that I don't have those puffy ends right there. So if you would also like to try many different kinds of yarn, I suggest you go check out the Woolery's website. So I have provided the link in the description down below. They have really everything a weaver can dream of. They have a lot of different fibers, some animal fibers, plant fibers. So go check it out. Please note that this link is an affiliate link, so if you click on it and make a purchase, I would make a small commission from it at no more cost to you. It's really just a way for me to keep making those videos. Still, the way I do it also, it helps me make discoveries. So sometimes, because I put everything I want to test together, sometimes there's a crossing of fibers at some point into my samples that I didn't expect would come out great, and it does. And there are other times that I discover things that I thought would look great, and actually I don't really like the effect. So really an amazing learning tool that I refer to often. So it's not just a sample before making a project. For me, it's really something that I refer to see, oh yeah, it's true, this fiber with this fiber was nice, or those colors, they really look great together, and so on. So what I do, I warp a little bit of all the yarns I want. So I make about 1 inch of all the fibers I want to try out, sometimes 1.5 inches. And sometimes I would warp the same fibers more than once, so sometimes I would just change the number of ends per inch. So for example, I could double some, like look here, my bamboo is doubled, here it's not doubled, because I wanted to see how it would react with a different EPI. So really, I have fun with it. I really just, everything that crossed my mind, I try it out there, because that's the time to try it out. For my next projects, I really want to go off the beaten track of acrylic and cotton. I wanted to go out of this. I wanted to try very different things, such as bamboo, hemp, linen, and before going there, I wanted to see a little bit more of how they would interact after wet wash, and also how they weave. I was very, I must say, I was very intrigued about how the hemp would weave, if it would be easy to weave. And now I have my answer. It's not that bad. It's much easier to weave than linen. And I can say that now linen is not my best friend, and I'm not sure I'm going to be weaving with linen again soon. So keeping track and taking notes is also an important part in weaving because you learn a lot from your different projects and you will learn a lot also from making tests like that. One thing I absolutely do is make sheets of everything that I put in the warp and also everything that I put into the weft. And I also add a little bit of the fiber that I use so that I have a reference of what I use. And this is very, very, very helpful afterwards. Also, if you have observation that you made while making this, it's also good to record them because sometimes this can also be really revealing for a new project. So now I've woven everything I wanted to try out, so what I have left is simply to cut it up and sit on and wash it, because most of the learning when I do samplings come from wet washing. So what happens after I've washed the cloth, the woven cloth. So this is what I'm going to do now, and we're going to learn a lot from it afterwards together. So my sample has come out of the bath, so now I can start studying it and learning from the different fibers that I used in it. It is a very small sample, I agree. If you're not more patient than me, maybe I recommend making bigger samples of each yarn, but it still works okay with me this way. So for some of the findings that I've made with this sample, well, first of all, I really love hemp, so I'm very excited to try it in a bigger project. I also love the bamboo, which, as expected, did shrink a lot more than the other fibers. I've also tried different set for this yarn, which is yarn that will be used to make bath towels. So this is a video that's coming up very soon, so I'm very excited to try this and on a bigger project as well. So I hope you like this video today, and if you enjoy it, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.